TJ the Wheel Joe coming at you live. It is Wednesday, January the 7th, 8:40 a.m. Central Time, Texas time. We are going to get into it today, guys. I was taking a shower and then a couple of trade ideas came to my head. I feel like been a little bit off my game, so I'm going to try to get back on track this morning because I feel like I have a lot of opportunities to collect more premium, and I've just chosen not to do it because I feel like I've just been a little bit lazy. Sometimes you get a little bit complacent, if you will. So I feel like I've gotten a little bit lazy. So anyway, before we get into that, though, I think I'm going to start with the 1 minute with God. If I could turn these glasses on. If I can knock that out of the way, set the tone for the day. And then we will get into all things stock market. And I'm going to send some invites to some people too. Maybe we can have some guests, right? New year, new me, that whole thing. Let's see if we can have some guests. I'll reach out to battery 71%. Right. 71%. We're good. We got plenty of time here. I'll reach out to Uzi Option. I'll reach out to Option. Maybe put the link in the chat as well. So, because the portfolio updates aren't going to take as long, right? Because I'm only looking to maybe make like 3 to 5 trades, so it's not going to take that long. So we'll do live Q&A. Maybe invite somebody onto the channel, see if they want to, kind of shoot the breeze a little bit. So January the 7th, right? Is that where we're at? Is that the day? Yeah, January the 7th. So yesterday we talked about abilities. So January the 7th is about goals. So how should I pursue my goals? Goals set the agenda for your day, your week, your year, and your life. Goals also set the direction in which you move. Therefore, it's important to have the right goals so your life will go in the right direction. As you determine your goals for this coming year, make them more than just urgent tasks to check off a to-do list. Make them assignments with a purpose. Do your goals align you with God's word or contradict it? Are your goals in keeping with your special abilities and spiritual gifts? Are your goals, even the small ones, honoring God? If so, you're headed in the right direction and your accomplishments will be meaningful. God's response: I am focusing all of my energies on this one thing, forgetting the past and looking forward to what lies ahead. I strain to reach the end of the race and receive the prize for which God, through Christ Jesus, is calling us up to heaven. Philippians 3:13 to 14. If your aim is to enjoy this world, you can't be a friend of God. Our aim is to please him always. 2 Corinthians 5 and 9. God's challenge. Since we are surrounded by such a huge crowd of witnesses to the life of faith, let us strip off every weight that slows us down, especially the sin that so easily hinders our progress, and let us run with endurance the race that God has set before us. Hebrews 12 and 1. It's really interesting, because you hear things like, let God's will be done or let thy will be done. But we have free will. So I feel like we struggle with that as human beings. I know I do. It's like I want to accomplish what is important to me. I don't necessarily look at it from the context or from the lens of what's important to God. So it's really, really interesting. You can do a little self-reflection and be like, man, is what I'm doing pleasing just for me, like for my flesh, or is it pleasing to God? Interesting stuff. Anyway, I'll end the recording there and I'll post that on X later. Let's get on to it. Let me see who's on the chat today. SJ, greetings. I'll ask the mods, guys, if y'all could do me a favor. If we have anybody y'all feel like is trolling, Just get them out of here. We don't have time for that stuff on this channel. We're selling puts, we're selling calls, we're collecting premium, we're rolling when it makes dollars and cents. We're going to always look for the timely leaps. If there's an opportunity there, we want to help each other out on the chat, live Q&A. If y'all have any trade ideas, post them in the chat and stuff. But this isn't like a debate forum and stuff where we just want to show people how smart we are and all that stuff. Like, this is, you want to go troll, man, go do it somewhere else. I don't have time for that stuff. That's not going to help us get to our ultimate goals as a family, which is 100 million. And whatever your goals are, like, you're not likely to achieve those goals arguing with a bunch of people. Like, the idea is you're going to have to find your horses. You're going to have to figure out how to run those horses, your stocks, into the winner's circle, and that way you can make more money. Appreciate the 203 people that have already seen the link on X, the 67 people rocking with me live. I can see the audience is growing a little bit. So I'm gonna kind of like take y'all through the day. We're gonna do the portfolio update. I have a couple of trades in mind, so I'm gonna knock that out. We'll maybe check on our boy Amit. Let's see if Jesse Dow is going live. We'll tune into those channels too, and kind of like look at all that. I'll put the invite out if anybody wants to join in the whole thing. What's going on? Good morning, Rich. Daniel. Buenos dias. Good morning, Mr. International Vince. What's going on? Barbecue Master. Jiu-Jitsu black belt right here, man, and an Iron Man. This is somebody you don't want to see in a dark alley. You know what I mean? He's got a pretty friendly face, but it's always those friendly ones that can choke you to death, right? So you got to be careful. Manish, what's going on? TJ, what's your thought on doing portfolio secured puts instead of cash secured puts? That's my game. That is my game. You got to have a portfolio margin. What that gentleman means by that is, whenever you have portfolio margin, everything is essentially portfolio secured. That's why it's just terminology. It's a catchy phrase, but that's what I've been doing since we moved over to Tasty Trade. They're technically portfolio secured puts versus cash secured puts. It's just more capital efficient. But that being said, that doesn't give you like carte blanche to just go crazy and sell a bunch of puts. I'm always keeping track of my notional values and stuff to make sure that I don't blow up the account, because I always have to be ready for assignment, because somewhere along the way you're going to deal with some assignments. So if you are playing too big and you're not able to take that assignment, or if you do take that assignment, you find yourself either utilizing margin or potentially a margin call, because your buying power is going to be out of whack depending on what underlying you took assignment on, right? Because some of the margin requirements are different on the underlyings. Like if I take assignment, like right now I'm staring down the barrel of assignment, $800,000 on BMU. Tasty Trade is going to wipe that off of the buying power, and they're not going to give me any leverage. In other words, they're going to be like, here you go. Congratulations. You own more shares of BMU, but we don't like that underlying, so we're not going to lend you any money against it. So in other words, we're not going to let you collateralize those shares with more leverage so that you can go do something else. So it's kind of like we're like legit taking that money off the table, because that's probably in that 100% margin maintenance requirement, right? That underlying. But if you were taking ownership of, say, something like PayPal, then you don't get dinged as much. So you have to be very, very cognizant of all the gimmies and the gotchas, man. Got to be. Good morning, TJ. Thanks for your time and knowledge. We're lucky. Appreciate you guys just sharing the journey live. And mostly this is for my son. You guys are just beneficiaries of that. But I appreciate you guys. TJ Burning, SoFi for a month now and has done amazingly. Thanks for always being there. For sure, man. That's what we're trying to do here. Just trying to pay it forward, help everybody out as best we can. And all positive vibes in 2026. I ain't arguing with anybody this year. That this doesn't make me any money. It zaps a lot of energy from me, and I just don't want to do it. Yeah, Oscar is one that I did dabble with a little bit last year. I had some concerns with it because it's like so closely tied to the Medicare or Medicaid or whatever, and I was like, yeah, but it definitely has a lot of promise. It definitely has a lot of promise. So. Anyway, let's get into it. I'll get to these comments as we go. What does it say the minimum to start wheeling? Shoot, man. I mean, you can do it with really small amounts, but I would say like 25,000 is a nice round number. That way you're not forced to just play with like really, really cheap stocks. So I would say with 25 grand, you can definitely make it happen. And then your focus just has to be on getting your double, right? Because you're two doubles away from 100 grand. At 100 grand, it starts getting fun. At 250 grand, it gets real fun. At $1 million, the world's your oyster. No emit today. Oh, that's why the numbers are up. Y'all have been found out. Y'all have been found out. I thought I was getting popular. Makes sense. Our boy's not. Our boy's out. I don't think I saw him on the market close either because I found myself watching Steve and Matt Money. Did like Steve quit his job? I got to reach out to Steve because I see him on YouTube all the time, and I know this dude like makes a crap load of money, with his work. So I'm like, is he like a full time? Is he like a full time YouTuber now, or what's going on? Every time I pop on YouTube, I get a thing from dividend streams. I'm like, my goodness, man. My good, he's got to have the most comfortable chair ever. I got to figure out what chair he has because my chair is pretty comfortable, but it's not comfortable enough for me to be doing 6-8 hours a week. Okay, Steve still works. He doesn't sleep. Steve's crazy. Steve's crazy. He's a junkie. He is a financial junkie. Legit junkie. Just lives and breathes this stuff. Just a wealth of knowledge, an absolute wealth of knowledge, guys. Y'all don't follow him on Seeking Alpha. He puts out amazing write-ups. If you guys have ever seen him dance with the spreadsheets, like this dude, he's that guy. He's that guy. Super nerdy when it comes to the numbers, and he gets so impassioned, right? Like when the valuations don't make sense, he wears these emotions on his sleeve. I'm a little bit more like reserved because I think like Palantir and Tesla, the valuations are like so whack. But it doesn't like affect me that much, right? I just like take a step back and I'm like, okay, well, how can I make money with these stocks? But Steve gets angry. He legit gets angry at these valuations. They're so stupid. He gets angry at the Tesla cult, and oh man, it is must see TV. It is absolutely must see TV. Anyway, let's get into it, man. Let's get into it. Let me get it together here. Let's see how the portfolio is doing. Hopefully, we're not bleeding out too bad. Not my reservations, man. I feel like it climbed up a little bit too quickly, and I feel like we're due for some pullback action. But we'll see. Hopefully, that's not the case. Oh, I'm seeing a little green on the screen. Nothing crazy. Nothing crazy. So I have to keep it on this. I have to keep it on this side. Okay, I do notice that the comments are blocking some of the screen, so bear with me. So show comment on the stage. I wonder why I can't. I'm trying to get the comments off, so bear with me. I'm waiting on the TV to. No, it looks like those comments want to stay on there, and I don't know how to take them off. It's kind of annoying. Because it blocks the screen. It blocks the screen. So I don't know. What to do to erase it because it's got a little thing here that I click to show comments on the screen, and it's off, but it won't come off. So it's one of those things. So I just gotta keep it on this screen real quickly, and then we'll go to the white side because it's easier on the eyes. A, B, I can make the font bigger. But the reason I just need to glance at this screen real quick is for my buying power usage. The very first thing that I look at when I log on to these accounts is the profit and loss for the day. That's the first thing. But the second thing that I look at is always my buying power usage percentage. So I just glance at these real quickly and I'm like, okay, 42, 44, 50, 37, 40, 51, 34, and the DGen account, my son's account at 97.2. So I'm like, man, we are like DGen Central over here. So we'll start with that one. We'll start with that one. So that's just I just wanted to see that real quick. And then also seeing if another account has already auto populated because we've got another customer, if you will. But it's not on here yet. So it probably won't be until tomorrow or the next day. And it's a pretty hefty account, $700,000 that we'll be able to feature. So the more accounts that I bring on, the longer these lives are going to be because y'all are essentially seeing me work. It's what I do, right? So it's gonna be fun, man. Classes in session. Enjoy it this week. These are going to be public streams, but my members like me doing members only because they feel like they get more time and attention, and it almost feels like a group FaceTime, if you will. So most of the streams will be members only after this week. So just kind of keep that in mind. Anyway, let's get into it. Because I did have some trade ideas as I was taking a shower. I was like, why aren't I doing that? Like, why aren't I doing that? Anyway, so what's going on BMNU? We got 8,500 shares at $6.13. Down on the shares today, 3,400 bucks. Collectively up on the shares, so that part's good. But the beautiful thing about this is we sold some covered calls, and we brought in 3,200 bucks or so, 3,300 bucks, $39 times 85. So that part's good. We're doing very, very well there. And this is just going to be a rinse and repeat situation. So what's the Goldilocks situation here? Is we want this thing to pump to 9 or 10 bucks, maybe even 11. I'm okay having these shares called away. Like it doesn't matter to me. Like I am so emotionally detached from these particular shares. I'm only here to make money. And this is a leveraged ETF on BMNR. So this isn't anything that is long term. This isn't the girlfriend that you take home to mom and be like, oh, I found the one, because your mom's gonna pull you from the ear, take you to the back, and be like, she ain't the one. She ain't the one. So I'm telling you, BMNU ain't the one. It's a real tasty treat. Tasty trade, right? Pun intended. But that's it. That's it. It's a trade. It's not an investment in any way, shape, or form. These leverage ETFs are not investments. Use them for what they're for. What they're for. They present you an opportunity to make a quick 20, 30, 40%. You take it and you move on. Because when the underlying that they're attached to, that they're mirroring, goes sideways, these things will go down. NAV erosion is a real thing. Okay, we're done with that one. We're going to take it from the top. Account ending in 45. This is a $95,000 account. Got two positions. We got BMNU, shares owned at 572. The reason you have negative 527 here is because it's taken into account the cover call premiums. So that's how you get to that adjusted cost basis of 527. So we got 2,500 shares owned at 572. We're up a little bit on the shares, and we got the shares for sale at $8. Very, very aggressive, guys. Picked up about 1,100 bucks in premium, or about 50% profit on those premiums on the covered calls. And then the bigger position is PayPal. We got an agreement to buy 5,000 shares of PayPal at 52.50. Obviously, there's not enough money to afford 5,000 shares of PayPal at 52.50 in this account. This expires 128 days from now, May the 15th. So this is a cash grab. By definition, it's a cash grab because you can't afford to take ownership of the shares, right? So I am basically banking on this idea that I think PayPal is going to stay above 52.50. And I believe that that's going to happen. So that's what's going on with that particular account. Account ending in 19. Let me see if there's a trade to be had here. Let's see. Make sure my days to expiration are the way that I like them in chronological order, and they are. Let's start with BM&R. We got the 2,000 shares for sale at $42. I think we're good there. Strategy is pumping. Good news. The MSCI, I think is, I don't know. They're not going to get, I don't know if delisted's a word, but they're still going to be able to be part of the indices. And that's why MSTR is pumping, because Bitcoin's not pumping. At least it wasn't. Let me see if it is or not. I don't think it is. Bitcoin. Yeah, no, it's under 92,000. So this is just a lot of the FUD is leaving the room, right? Essentially on MSTR. So which is good news. So we got an agreement to buy 2,500 shares at 140. Wow, this one is just about, this is exciting. So this one's got to be in the 80 percentile range or so. So that part's good. And then we've got in the distance an agreement to buy 5,000 shares of MSTR at 160. Again, this is this account's high 600s or so, mid 600s. So, but it still can't afford 5,000 shares of MSTR at 160, right? I don't think 160 times 5,000. Yeah, no, that'd be $800,000. So this is a cash grab. This is a cash grab. We could definitely afford 2,500 shares at 140. It would suck up a lot of the buying power, but we could do that. So I'm trying to stay in this trade. I'm trying to stay in this trade, milk it as long as I can, because I think that A, it's going to expire out of the money. B, I want it in the campaign. I want to keep rolling this thing. This is not a trade. This is a campaign. So I want to roll this thing out, maybe keep it at 140, maybe even lower to 135, put it on for another 30, 45 days. So I don't want to roll it right now. I'm good. I want to suck out all of this money here. And I'm even good with maybe when it gets under $1,000 of extrinsic, then I'll consider, okay, here's $1,000. Let me regroup. Let me reassess. But if it just hangs out here, maybe it goes down to like 160, 165, 165, 160. Then there's going to be more juice in the lemon, right? There's going to be more juice in the lemon whenever I roll out to the next one. So there's not a trade that I could make here unless I'm willing to sell some calls, maybe turn this into a short strangle. That's appetizing. That's appetizing. But let me tell you why I'm not excited about doing that, because BM&R is not even pumping today, or I'm sorry, Bitcoin's not even pumping today, and this thing's up. What happens if Bitcoin catches a bid to 100,000? This thing could easily go to $200, probably more, probably higher. So I'm like, nah, that you want to be careful with those coiled springs. You want to be careful with those coiled springs whenever you're selling naked calls, or even cover calls for that matter. SoFi 2650. Going 2650. We got 50 short puts at $24. Love it. I love it. PayPal 55 puts, 300 contracts. I think this is a cash grab. And then our sweet spot trade is Palantir 140 and 240. I mean, this thing's picture perfect. We don't have to do anything. We don't have to do anything. I'm kind of tempted to add 50 contracts here, just because I think this is such an easy trade. That would be 240,000, right? Let me see. 2,400 times, yeah, 240,000. Man, I like that. I like that. Let me add 50 contracts here. So the little suitcase here thing that shows position. So I'm going to go 23 days out, and I'm just going to add to this trade right here, which is this one right here. And I want 50 more contracts. More contracts. I want to tick it up a little bit, get a little bit more premium. Review and send. We'll make another $3,600, reducing the buying power by 13,900. I mean, you guys can see how capital efficient it is. It's crazy. Okay, submit. We'll submit. Let it cook. We'll see what happens. I wanted to sell some naked calls on PayPal today, but man, it'd be cool if it went over to $60. That was like my trade idea. I was like, why am I selling naked calls on PayPal? I could always roll these things. And it's not, I don't think it's going to shoot over to 100 overnight. Like there's no catalyst, there's nothing there. So my little trade idea is kind of out the window right now. So I'm going to leave that alone. Going into account ending in 90, what pretty flat for the day. This is a $375,000 account. Only 4 positions. What's going on with BMU? Getting annihilated today. We've got 10,000 shares at 550, so that part's good, but we're getting annihilated today. Luckily, we have the cover calls on. So I'm really, really happy with myself that I was like, okay, we don't need to be emotional with this particular trade. Let's just be mechanical and let's put the cover calls on. If these shares get called away, who gives a shit? Because this is a trade. This is a tasty trade. This isn't an investment. SoFi, 24 puts. 24 puts. We got 50 of those. I like it. I like it. I don't need to add any more to this. Let me go look at the buying power. Let me switch over here on the buying power real quick. Let me go to the buying power page. 90, yeah, 52%. Yeah, I'm good. I don't need to add to that one. I don't need to add to that one. So I lost my page. Hold on. I lost my page. Where'd you go? There we go. There we go. Let me make this a little bit bigger too. I'm getting a little better at sharing these screens, man. I'm getting a little bit better at sharing these screens. I see on the thing, SoFi has earnings at the end of the month. Yes. Not really. I think the earnings are going to be great. I think the earnings are going to be great. I already got the trade in. I'm agreeing to buy a bunch of shares at $24. It would be really, really cool if that could happen. But whenever it's a campaign, you're going to deal with a lot of earnings. You're going to deal with a lot of binary events. And what I mean by a campaign is I'm planning on being in this thing for the next 3 to 5 years, if not longer. So I don't let that stuff affect me too much. That's like stop sign to stop sign mentality, right? Expiration date to expiration date mentality. And I don't really have that mentality with SoFi. I know this stock, inside and out, backwards, forwards. So I'm good. I'm good with it. I own shares. So I'm like, what am I going to do? Sell them every time there's earnings? I mean, you just deal with it. You just deal with it. SoFi, solid. I don't think I need to put on 50 more contracts there. PayPal is not cooperating. I wanted to sell some calls on PayPal today, but it's not cooperating. MSTR, was it 169 just a little while ago, right? Now it's not. So I think we're good. I think we're good. We don't have to do anything there. We just kind of stand pat. I don't see anything there that's like alarming or anything like that. If this thing were to dip to this 550 level, I'd be tempted to bring on another 2,500 shares, maybe 5,000 shares. That's something that I'll consider doing in this account. Keep it going. Account ending in 01. This is almost $900,000 account. We got 5 positions. So keep that in mind, guys. We don't have a lot of positions here because whenever you find something that works for you, you don't have to spread yourself out too thin because inevitably some of these positions are going to go against you at some point. So it would behoove you to have some money, some ammunition, some dry powder to go rescue these positions because we're in the money game. It takes money to rescue some of these positions. It takes capital. It takes conviction, right? Those C's need to come together at the right time. So strategy, what do we got? We got 50 contracts at 140. We're up substantially on this particular position right now. Let's look at the order chain. Has this been a profitable venue? Profitable? Yeah, it has. We're up 19,500. Strategy's been good. Strategy's been good for us. We want to keep doing this over and over though. So this is a campaign. So I want this trade on the books. So we are going to let this ride. And this is perfect right here for us. If it stays in this 160, 170 range, this is ideal. We'll milk the rest of this extrinsic value and we'll put the trade on again another 30 to 45 days out. Maybe lower the strike price from 140 to 135 and just keep going with it. I mean, it's a good trade, very, very comfortable. First of all, at 140, if we're able to lower the price, the strike price to 135, well, that gets even more comfortable. Or if strategy starts tanking and it goes to like 150, by the time, January the 16th rolls around, and I'm like, that's good news. Why? Because on the next roll, we're not going to roll to 135. We're going to de-risk and we're going to roll to probably 130. And then we're going to feel even better about it. So I'm the weirdo that kind of cheers for the stocks to go down whenever you're in a situation that you're very, very comfortable in. I'm like, I want to be able to keep this trade on. So I'm not just cheering for strategy to go straight to 200 or 250 right now, because then I lose the play. DMU, we got an agreement to buy 100,000 shares at $8, and we got an agreement to buy another. It's quite a bit of shares, right? Is that right? Yeah, it's an agreement to buy $80,000 worth at $8, and we got an agreement to buy $60,000 worth at $6. So those are both in the money. Not planning on doing anything with them. I'm kind of okay with assignment. And then if this thing dips to like $5, I'll buy another 25,000 shares or another 20,000 shares. So that's kind of the game plan. It's like that, the 25, 25, 50 strategy, right? So this is the 25%. This is the other 25%. And then if it dips to like $4 or $5, then I'll be like, well, I'll double the share count. And then I'll still have an average of about $6, because I'm going to try to buy the majority of the shares at a cheaper price. I look at shares as inventory, guys. So I want to pay less for my inventory. I'm in the wholesale retail business. Why would I want to pay more for my inventory? Like, I don't understand that mindset. For the love of God, I don't understand that mindset. Why are y'all always, the minute that you get into a position, you like immediately want the shares to shoot up? I'm like, I never go in with my full allocation. So I don't want the shares to just shoot up. Like I'm still trying to work my way through this position. So this is cooperating. This is really, really cooperating. I feel pretty good about it. SoFi, 100 puts at $24. Feels solid. I'm not going to sell any naked calls because we do have earnings around this time, right? I believe it is right on January the 30th. I'm not going to do anything unless it pumps. Historically, SoFi has a pre-pump, right? A pre-earnings pump. So if it goes into that $29, $30 range, then I will consider turning this into a short strangle. But got to get paid to take that risk. Right now, I'm not getting paid sufficiently to take that risk. So it's just not worth putting that risk on the table. My play on PayPal is in the toilet right now from the standpoint that I can't sell any naked calls right now. I can, it's just not ideal. So the good news is I picked a strike price that I feel very, very comfortable with. Now, we can't take ownership of all these shares. This is a cash grab. The beautiful thing is this is a campaign. This is not a trade. So I'm okay being in PayPal for the next 3 to 5 years. So PayPal keeps inching its way towards $55, which is going to roll out another 30, 45 days, go from 55 to 54, 53, 52. When would we take ownership of PayPal? First of all, we can't take ownership of 300 contracts, but we could take ownership of maybe 100 contracts, and that would be probably in that $50 range. It's go time at $50. Palantir short strangle. This is the easy money trade. I feel really, really good about it. Sweet spot 140, 240. Palantir cruises between those levels. We capture all of this extrinsic value of $31,750. I feel good about it. Keeping it going, account ending in 33. This is another account that is in the high sevens as far as valuation. Five positions. So let's look at them. We've got 10,000 shares at 656. It's currently going at 590. So obviously that part's no bueno. Luckily, we do have the shares for sale at $9 or 7,500 of the shares for sale at $9 for next Friday. Feel good about that. SoFi, we've got the same play, guys, across the board, right? We got 100 contracts at 24. So this is an obligation to buy 10,000 shares of SoFi on January the 30th, which is 23 days from now at $24. This is how you read the tape. The trade price, that's how much we got paid per share for selling and premiums for selling these contracts. We got 72 cents a share multiplied times 100, so $72 a contract times 100, which is $7,200. The extrinsic value is 7,400 right now, so we're down a little bit on that particular trade, but I feel good about it. PayPal, same trade, right? 44 days from now, this is an agreement to buy, was that 30,000 shares of PayPal at $55 44 days from now, which is February the 20th. There's 49,800 of extrinsic value. We got paid $1.62 per share. So you take the strike price, you subtract the $1.62, and that gives you your break even, which in this case would be the adjusted cost basis that we chose to take ownership of the shares. I hope y'all can appreciate these explanations because it's not that difficult to read the tape. You just got to pay attention. Profit and loss for the day, profit and loss open, profit and loss year to day, days open, days to expiration, the theta, the delta. The theta is how much money is coming off the clock in your favor whenever you're selling premium. That's really, really important. And then on the far right-hand side, we've got what? The capital requirements. So this is looking pretty good. MSTR is coming back down a little bit to earth. We've got 75 contracts at 130. So this here is just picture perfect. The majority of the shares, we've agreed to buy the majority of the shares at 130, which is something that we would really, really consider. I don't think we can actually afford that many. Well, I don't know. We'll have to look. Let's see. 130 times 7,500. Yeah, we can't afford all those shares. But we can afford probably 5,000 of those shares. But 130 would be a hell of an entry point. I'd feel very, very good about that entry point on MSTR to start running the cover strangle instead of just short puts. Again, I would have looked like a genius if I would have just like sold naked calls whenever it was at like 168, 169. But I just think that the risk reward isn't quite there on these particular portfolios. I do have naked calls on MSTR on the larger portfolio. We'll get to that. And then we had the sweet spot trade on Palantir, guys. This is just picture perfect. I feel good about it. We'll skip over the big account. Let's go to the other one. This is the other $1 million account we have in the portfolio. It's about 1.1 million. What do we got going on? We got 5 positions, making sure my DTE is in order. MSTR, we got an agreement to buy $1.4 million worth of MSTR at 140. I feel good about it. This is a campaign. I want to keep it on over and over again. So I'm just waiting it out, guys. It's the same story, man. It's the same story. It just sounds like a broken record. And that's the whole purpose of the hamburger stand is I sell puts, I sell calls, I collect premium, I roll when it makes dollars and cents. And ideally, if I came on the live enough, and let's just say something happened to me. I was talking about this on a FaceTime yesterday. Something happened to me. My wife reaches out to people on the WhatsApp group. Be like, TJ, God forbid, crashed his motorcycle, whatever. He's in a coma. He passed away. Whatever the case may be. I feel that my wife could type something on our WhatsApp group and be like, who can guide me? What was my husband trying to do here? Because I see a bunch of numbers on the screen, some green, some red. Who could help me out? And I feel like there's at least 10 people, 5 that I would feel very comfortable with that could reach out to my wife in confidence and say, I know exactly what TJ was doing with that hamburger stand of yours. Let me help you out, ma'am. And I would just ask, my wife's beautiful. Don't be hitting on my wife. I'll haunt your ass now. On a serious note, that is what I aspire to do when I sell options. I'm trying to create that McDonald's. You know that McDonald's is such a profitable organization, a profitable, real estate empire that sells hamburgers, and they got 16-year-olds running it. That is an amazing system. That is an amazing system. So I'm trying to create the McDonald's of options selling, to where somebody that doesn't even need to have a lot of experience, it's clear as day to them what I'm trying to accomplish with the portfolio. It's not that convoluted. And some of you guys are treating your portfolios like this amazing jet, this amazing plane, a Gulfstream, a G6 or whatever. But you're the only one that can fly it. You're the only one that can fly it because it's too complicated. And I am a real big fan of keeping things simple. I feel like a lot of y'all can look at these trades right here and be like, I can do that. I know what he's trying to do. I know what he's trying to do. I know that he needs Palantir to stay between 140 and 160 and 240. And now he's going to move the goalposts. I already know that. If one side gets challenged, he's going to move the other goalpost, or he'll tack on more trades. I've seen him do it. So that is what I aspire to do. So looking at these here, just eyeballing them, I got them all open at once, just so I can glance at it real quickly. I feel good about it. I love the 300 puts here, 44 days out. I got the 200 naked calls there. I feel good. That's a sweet spot trade on SoFi. Got the sweet spot trade on Palantir. And we got the puts on Enphase. So that is something that I've considered. Enphase has gone a little bit of a run. I've considered selling some short dated calls on Enphase. That was the other trade idea that I had. So let me look at that. So this is way over here. So just like 30 days out. Look at that big old copper strip, though. That's pretty awesome. So that tells me that the IV is pretty decent, right? You can see it over here, 74 percentile, 30%. It's not bad. So I think it might be time to ring the cash register on some naked calls, but I don't want to do such a big position. That way I don't have to babysit it too much. If there's pressure on it, I'll just go buy the shares and turn it into a covered strangle and let the shares get called away, make some money on the shares, got paid premium on the naked calls. They could easily turn into covered calls because I'll keep the position small. So that's what I've been eyeballing. The question is, what strike price would make sense? I see these big bid asks there. I don't like that. Let me look at January the 30th again. I'm just looking for things that are like that. This is wide. Like, why is it so wide? I have to go to the other side to do this. Some of the metrics that I have on the other side are not on this side. So that's why when I place trades, I prefer to go to the dark screen. It's the desktop versus being on the internet, on the web. So let's go to the big account, and then I'll go, if I see any trades that I need to place, I'll go to the other side. So we're definitely having a little bit of a pullback now here because we're down 360,000 for the day. So let's look at this. Make sure, our days to expiration were solid. So MSTRs come back down to earth, and this one here we do have a strangle on. So this part's doing pretty good. We're extracting about $18,000 a day in theta. So we're going to hold strong. We are going to hold strong, and we're going to keep this on the books. I will be more comfortable whenever this naked call has got at least a 2 in front of it, though, because I feel like I'm playing with fire a little bit there. I'm not going to lie. Then in the distance, about 5 months from now, we've got the 170 puts. Those are the ones that I'm babysitting. BMNU, 150,000 shares at 626. We're getting annihilated on the shares a little bit, and it's It's not really by a lot, but it's just that it's 150,000 shares, right? So a dollar's 150 grand. So that's the problem there. And then we got an agreement to buy $800,000 worth at $8. So we definitely planning for a BMU pump there. And we do have the shares for sale at $9. So that part was good. Picked up about $30,000 in premiums there. So it's a nice little consolation prize. BMNR is getting annihilated. We're down 1.3 million on the shares. Fortunately, I did sell the covered calls, picked up about 45 grand or so. Yeah, 45 times. Yeah, so 45 grand. We're up $27,000 on the covered calls, and then the long calls are getting annihilated. Palantir, we get the sweet spot trade. It's working. It's working. Shocker, I know. But I mean, this sweet spot trade is just sweet. I mean, it is just sweet. Palantir, there's a very, very high probability that it's going to stay between 140 and 240 over the next 72 days, in my opinion. Apple, sweet spot trade, 220, 240. Don't even have to look at it. Google 220 to 500. Don't even have to look at it. One trade that I did make yesterday that I did not share with anybody because I did it literally like I locked it in 5 seconds before the market closed. Is I rolled the calls from 360 to 340 just to get a little bit more delta neutral. So I did that yesterday. Brought in some more premium, which is great. But I don't want to tempt fate too much. I think I'm going to stay there. I considered going all the way to 320 on the call, but I was like, let's look at it in a month or so. PayPal, my trade idea is out the window, and I am considering selling some naked calls on Enphase. I wanted to sell some naked calls on Enphase and PayPal, short dated, because these are my backstop trades. So I wanted to try to bring in some monthly premiums via some naked calls. I still have that opportunity on Enphase. I don't have that opportunity right now on PayPal. And then SoFi, we just got the backstop trades. I had the naked calls as well, but I locked in pretty good money yesterday on one day. Yeah, I locked in a $22,000 profit. You'll see it there at the top. So I was like, make 22 grand in one day. There's no point on leaving it on. And then ASST is just the moonshot play. So all looks good. All looks good. I'm going to try to get to the other side here real quick just to see if anything makes sense on this Enphase play. Let me start over here on Enphase. And the reason I like this metric here better is because it gives me my deltas right over here. And I can probably set this up the exact same way on the other side. I just haven't taken the time to do that. So maybe by the end of the week, I'll sit and I'll like screenshot this and then go to the other side and make it look the exact same way on the other one. So Enphase is the one that I was really eyeballing here to sell some shorter dated puts. We'll go 23 days out. And 40 was where I was looking at. But this is just to have open interest and stuff on here. I don't have these metrics on the other one for whatever reasons. And maybe it's just, I just haven't messed around with it enough. But 40 was the one. It was one standard deviation away. How many puts do I have? 1,000. So I was kind of comfortable doing 500 calls. That's the open interest isn't even there. Let me check on the other one. There's just not a lot of customers. I don't want to be the entire market. 72 days out. Ugh. Look how low the volatility is over here. The expected move is so low. But that's kind of exciting. That's quite a bit of money, actually. That's interesting. I wonder how much money that would bring in. Wow, that's not bad, huh? That's not bad for it to stay under $45. I mean, truth be told, I don't even know why it's at $35 right now. It's just one of those things. One of those things. That's interesting. That's interesting. I'm gonna bring on Uzi options, and we'll look at the technicals and stuff. Let's look at the fibs and all that stuff. But it's gone on a little bit of a run the last week or so. And what I can do is I can put the trade on, and then I can always make an adjustment. I do like the idea of 72 days out because then I don't have to mess with it too often. I don't see any. Is there going to be enough customers here in the 23-day? Let me just try. Let me just see if there's enough customers there. Let me just do 500 contracts and we'll just do it at 45 to try to get it filled. It's 22 grand. Not bad. Let's see what happens. Oh, we got one customer. We got one customer. We'll let it play out. We'll let it play out. Don't do anything on SoFi. There's just no point. None of this. There's nothing here. There's nothing here. PayPal. I can't do anything with PayPal unless it goes back to at least 60. We're just gonna have to wait there. There's not a lot of open interest on that particular options chain right there, so that's a little disappointing. And there's really nothing else to do. There's really nothing else to do right now. We're just chilling. We are just chilling. Anyway, let me check in with you guys. And man, there's a lot of comments. Hopefully I can get through some of them. And I'll also put invitation here. Invite guest, copy, paste. There's an invitation on the bottom if anybody wants to kind of like shoot the breeze or whatever. I don't know where I left off today. Where did I leave? I saw this one. Ideas on a SoFi put. I feel like I could. I feel like I covered that one already. I did this one. I remember that one. No, I admit, I guess. I guess today I'm chilling with you. At least is honest, right? He's like, no way I'd be on here if Amit was here. What's going on, Meg? Thanks for your welcome. Good morning, everyone. Are we going light on puts this week? Quite a bit of puts out there. They're just, I do have them staggered in case if you guys haven't been able to tell. The reason that I'm running a ladder is to kind of like spread out the risk over different dates. That way I'm able to play bigger, because if I had everything expiring on the same day, it's just going to kill my buying power. So that's kind of like a little strategy that I utilize. Thanks for the live, TJ. Where were we? No couch investor. Good morning, everyone. Supreme Court on tariffs this Friday. Yeah, that's going to be fun. No couch investor today. Is his name Neil? I think. I watch you both on different screens. Steve still works. Okay, we did that one. Milkman is everywhere. Who's Milkman? Is that somebody on the chat? I'm going to take off these glasses because I can't see the screen that good with the glasses. It's kind of weird. The Titan Evo chair. I have it as well. It's great. From Secret Lab, the price is just kind of much. He likes the dividend. I think we're talking about Steve. Yeah. I think Steve is inspired by Mitt's YouTube channel growth. He's working hard and doing great. Yeah, he's doing amazing. Not a cheap share. I don't know. He paid like $600 or $700 for the share that I have now. It's comfortable. It's just I've seen some that have like the massage and the little recliner, and I think it's one called Kinnis, Kinnis. I see it advertised a lot on my social media. So it just, I'm intrigued. Steve's got lots of sub and viewers right away. Is there two things that Steve likes are milk and dividend? I love Steve getting angry at the Costco versus Nvidia valuation debate. Thanks for the Bible verse and reflections. You're welcome. All-time high, but it doesn't feel like it. ASST, yeah, it was like 70 something. Right now, it's like at $1.05. Oh, Did Robinhood kick you off the platform? Yes. What happened to that? Man, I've covered this 1,000 times. I got emails saying like fraud and all this stuff. Bottom line, I featured a buddy's account on the channel and I was pushing all the buttons. So that was kind of like the start of it. I feel like I owe Vlad dinner though, because my life has totally changed. We're just making so much more money on Tasty Trade. So I'm pretty thankful for that. Hey TJ, what kind of cash flow do you think is sustainable with a $1 million portfolio on Tasty versus Robinhood? Man, like collected premiums with $1 million, it's really easy to collect, like 40 to 50,000 in premium monthly. How much you'd be able to capture? I don't know, like 20, 25,000 comfortably. It's just you can collect $100,000 in premium, but you're going to deal with some crazy ass volatility, right? So it just depends, right? It depends on what type of stocks you're dealing with. Some stocks give you that kind of juice, some don't. But keep in mind, the premium is commensurate with the risk that you're taking, right? Because typically higher premiums are associated with riskier underlyings. So it's a loaded question from that aspect because, and obviously I'm familiar with your portfolio, Ed. So I think, yes, it would make a lot more dollars and cents for you to be on the Tasty Trade platform. But this isn't going to be the channel that bashes Robinhood, dude. Robinhood, I learned how to sell options on the Robinhood platform. So I'm always going to be grateful for that. And I needed that simplicity, right? Like I don't think that breaking out on Tasty Trade would have been good for me because I would have probably found it a little too intimidating. So Robinhood was good for me to really understand cash secured puts, cover calls, and rolling, the basics, right? For option selling. But it was even about a year before I got kicked off the platform that I was like, okay, I feel like I'm outgrowing the platform because there's some metrics like I'm constantly having to calculate extrinsic value and things like that. And I feel like those things should just be at my fingertips. And then there's other things that need to be at your fingertips, like your adjusted cost basis. We should have never needed to do a wheel tracker. Each one of these brokerages can tell you what your adjusted cost basis is. They're just being dicks. So that's another thing that really, really annoys me is that these brokers all have the metrics that they know that you need. They surely should have an algorithm that's like, oh, this guy sells options. Let's help him out with some accounting. But no, it's like you're spending a bunch of time out of your day creating apps, and like Tevis has invested a bunch of money doing a stupid app that he should have never had to do. Because any broker could give you that information. So that stuff's just like really, really annoying. As I get bigger, like when we get to that $100 million mark, oh, I'm going to come hard after all of these fucking brokers because they have all of these metrics at their disposal and they choose not to share them with you. You're going to get into a wash sale situation, they should flag you immediately and give you a little caution. Hey, buddy, we got your back. You're about to do a wash sale. Are you sure it's something that you want to do? It's just like when you want to exercise a leap early and there's a crap load of extrinsic value. Kudos to Robinhood. They will tell you, hey, are you sure you want to be stupid? Are you sure? Are you sure you want to be stupid? Kudos to them. So they show me that they have the ability to do that. They should be able to do that with everything else. Kind of help you out. But that's where I'm a firm believer that these brokers are not your friends. These brokers are just not your friends. They're just not. They're not. They work for the citadels, right? They work for the big time market makers and stuff. So it is what it is, man. It's us versus them. It's just there's a reason we're referred to as dumb money. because they expect you to be dumb. But I think that's been the biggest renaissance of the last 5 years, in my opinion, is since COVID, is the institutions are realizing that the dumb money's not that dumb. And now, especially with artificial intelligence and the way that that's going, we have a lot more information now. A lot more information now. That GameStop debacle changed the game. It changed the game because it showed the institutions that the retail is not that dumb. They know how to read inflows. They know how to read outflows. They know how to study the dark pool. They know how to see, volume. They know how to study a bunch of metrics that really move the market, right? Are the institutions buying? Are the institutions selling? And they're really starting to understand valuations. They're getting hip to the game. They're getting hip to the game. I don't know what the stats are. I would like to be able to find them, or if somebody could find them, but I have a feeling that over the last 5 years, retail has made the most amount of money that they've ever made in a 5-year period in the stock market. And that is not just because we've been in a bull market. It's because retail is getting hip to the game. Like, retail is seeing that investing is not just for the big boys. You can make a living doing this thing legitimately, and you don't have to be gambling, getting all crazy, buying short dated options. So anyway, there's that. Good morning from coastal North Carolina. Right on. TJ, that's an earnings day. Yeah, probably talking about SoFi. What is start your own fun perk for your Series 65 Super OG membership? Yeah, there's some people that aspire to start their own fund, so I can walk you through what I did. I've only had that conversation a handful of times because a lot of people don't aspire to do that. I did it. It's not that difficult. It's not that difficult. I've since dissolved my fund because I don't need it anymore because we have the family office, and that keeps me pretty busy. But it's not that difficult to do. It's just tedious. So you have investors that trust you and stuff, and you want to captain that ship legally. There's things that you could do to be able to do that. Everything seems to be dipping. It feels like the algos could be the trade adding 50 more contracts on SoFi didn't go through. TJ, you got an error message. I'll look here in a second. I appreciate that. Oh, what account was that on? I think it was 19. Bear with me. I'm looking at something behind the scenes. Bear with me, guys. Went through. I just did it right now. So I'm not sure. But yeah, so there's 100 contracts now on that account ending in 19. Appreciate the heads up. This guy invests with Jeremy. So has there? Yep, that is a fact. Good morning, gang. Palantir earnings, right on. I won the lottery. I wish. I think I played the lottery like 2 times. Do y'all do the lottery? Type in the comments. Do you guys do the lottery or no? Because sometimes, like, I drive around and you see these billboards that say like, was it Powerball or something like that? Like 50 million or billion or some crazy ass number. And I remember one time I was in San Antonio, and I guess the Powerball had gotten up like really high. So I was like, I'm gonna go buy a ticket. So I had to go put gas anyway. So I went to I did the little swipey thing, right, for the gas at the little shit, I don't even know what the hell it's called. I have a Tesla now, so I forgot what the hell this is called. The gas station, the pump, at the pump. So I paid at the pump and put the gas in the car. And I'm like, I'm gonna go buy a lotto ticket. Dude, there was a line outside the freaking door for the lotto because I guess it had gotten like really high, like a couple of times had gone, people hadn't won the lotto, and I guess the price just keeps ramping up or whatever, however it works. And I got a lot excited, so I stood in line for like 10 minutes, and then I walked out of there. I was like, "Damn, I'm not gonna do this anymore. This is crazy." And then I didn't even know what numbers I was gonna pick. Like I didn't even know how it worked. So I was like, but those little scratchers, I've done those scratchers a handful of times, and those are fun. They're entertaining, but I've never like won anything substantial with the lottery. That is too funny. When you sell calls puts for premium, you're basically acting as a salesperson for the contract and getting paid commission based on the value of the contract, right? I would say the best analogy is you're selling insurance. You're selling insurance. So you're like an insurance company and you're collecting premium. But if that contract goes in the money, like in other words, if the customer wrecks their car, you got to make good. So you're collecting premium because you're selling the right for someone to either sell the shares to you or buy the shares from you. As an insurance company, you have the obligation to make good. So whenever you buy options, you have the right to exercise. When you sell options, you're obligated. You're obligated. You're contractually obligated. So you have to be very, very careful on the terminology, and you got to know exactly what it is that you sign up for. PayPal is trash. I'm down a lot on it. So let me challenge you, Chief Keef. Is PayPal trash, or you just didn't know how to ride the horse? Is PayPal trash, or you just didn't know how to ride the horse? Because I made 7 figures with PayPal. Same stock, same market conditions. I was just very, very patient. Everybody was on PayPal's nutsack when it was like 200. It was coming down, right? Because I think this thing was like at 300 COVID, right? And then it come down 200. I got interested, but I didn't do anything because I felt like PayPal was stuck between a growth company and a value company. So there was like a revaluing of PayPal happening like in 21 or something like that. It was got to look at the charts to see exactly when it happened, but it was probably like 21, 22. And then it came down to like 150. And I got really, really interested. But I was like, there's no mojo here. There's no mojo here. I think this thing's going sub 100. And at 100, I started dabbling with puts. And I just kept getting away with it, kept getting away with it, kept getting away with it. And then it went to like the 60s, and I took ownership, rode the shares up to like 75 or so, 80, 85, 90. It even touched 100 again not too long ago, like less than a year ago. You can look at the chart. And then I just been selling puts and calls off and on since, made over $1 million. But it's like I took my time with it, and then I was like, there's a way to make a lot of money here. But I don't think that buying Leaps, even though I did make money on Leaps on PayPal, because I just got lucky, and owning shares prematurely isn't really the way. Same thing with Enphase, right? Lost money with Enphase initially, and now made over $500,000 collectively on Enphase. So I just think that it's easy to say that a stock is trash. But I think if we're being honest with ourselves, I think what we really need to be saying is the way that I played it is trash. I should have played it better, but maybe I got hasty. And I can give y'all 2 cases in point right now. I feel like I have played BM&R all wrong. I think that I'm going to manufacture the win, but I played it all wrong. I bought way too many shares way too quickly. I didn't know as much about BM&R whenever I was accumulating the shares as I do now. I would have loved to still own 100,000 shares, but if I would have been more patient, I should have about a $38 average cost versus a $44 average cost. So that's a lot. That's a lot on 100,000 shares, right? You're talking about $600,000. But that's on me. That's not on PayPal, or that's not on BM&R. That's on me. So just something to consider, just something to consider. When do you usually buy back your puts, if you ever do? I do. When it's a cash grab, I'm usually going for 50 to 75%. When it's a campaign and I just want to keep it on the books over and over and over again, keep rolling, and I'm winning the trade, I usually roll between 75 and 90%. Very seldom do I let anything expire worthless. I mean, there's just a lot of tail risk there, and it's unnecessary, especially if you're done with the trade, is what I'm saying. Like, if you're done, you're going to close, you're done, you're moving on. I close at like 80, 85, 90%. It's very seldom do I let anything expire worthless. I just don't. Where are we at here? No, I've got 10 stocks and the big account. It just depends, man. It just depends because I didn't start trading all of these accounts on the same day, right? So the hamburger stands are at different levels in the maturation process, if that makes sense. So anyway, I hope that helps you guys out, man. I'm really enjoying talking to you guys. I love the vibe. I love that everybody's being polite and courteous for the most part, and I want to take my time and really answer y'all's questions. I feel like this is it's like a group FaceTime, if you will, because I really try to take my time on these FaceTimes whenever I get to know people and stuff. And I take an interest in your life. That's what I do. And I just love it. I just love helping people because people have helped me. So I just feel like you're supposed to pay it forward in this life, like you want to leave this world better than you found it. And that's kind of like my little mission in life, if that makes sense. Appreciate you, Angel. Hey, TJ, you discovered this channel, loving it. I've been looking to sell 300 SoFi covered calls, but struggling with your strike. Any suggestions? Not financial advice. I'd wait for it to pump. I would wait for it to pump a little bit, 29.30. And then I've got 35, 36 would probably be a nice little place to start. We got some catalysts, right? We got interest rates lowering. We've got potential S&P inclusion. I don't know that it happens on this next round, but the round after that, I'm pretty certain that it will happen. I'm like 100, not 100, but 99% that it's going to happen in 2026. So that's going to be a big time catalyst because now you have all these pension funds, all these institutions that they're forced to buy it, right? So it's pretty fun. So yeah, I think that 35, 36, you'll probably get away with it once or twice. After that, you probably want to be selling calls in that $40 range. Trying to help people. Bro, you're like Trunk. You can speak forever. We're going to talk about Bitcoin. There's 600,000 Bitcoin in Venezuela. They look better in our wallets. We're going to go ahead and control the country. We're going to control the Bitcoin. It's beautiful Bitcoin. It's prettier in our possession. Y'all are crazy.
What's up, DJ?
Ike. Is that how you say it? Ike.
But this is I'm sorry for the background noise, but this is another account that I got, but this is Isaac Premium Trade from Houston.
Arias.
Yes, sir.
Dude, I have had breakfast with this gentleman right here. At the was it at the Omni or the DoubleTree? I don't remember where we were staying that day.
Omni.
At
at
the
the
Omni, yeah, in Houston, off of was it Woodway or River something? River, I don't know.
I think it was Woodway,
Yeah,
near the Galleria, somewhere
yeah,
around there.
yeah, absolutely, dude. I'm pretty sure I probably ate eggs over medium. That's what I do.
Yeah, yeah.
Anyway, how are you doing, my brother? And good to see you. Good to talk to you.
Yes, sir. I'm at work, so if
Right
there's
on.
some background noise, you could just, if it gets too excessive, you can just mute me.
It's
But
all good.
I've been good. Just real busy with life, brother. Just real busy. Uh, got married, bought a little home
Man,
up
good for
there in
you.
Monroe with my girl.
Congratulations. Wow.
Yeah, and then we're expecting a little one,
Wow.
a little junior or a little girl. I mean, she just started. She just started. She's probably about like 3 weeks in, but um, we're excited for that. Just going through life.
That's awesome, man. How's the portfolio doing? Are you still cranking?
Oh yeah, oh yeah. Selling cars, selling puts, only when it makes dollars and cents.
That is awesome, man.
Yes, sir.
That is absolutely awesome. What are your top three stocks right now that you're holding or selling options on?
I'll say the top three would be, well, funny story. I got a little premium drunk off of what is it called? BITX. That sucker burnt me good.
What
But
is that?
then,
What is that ticker? I've never played with it.
so BITX
Oh,
is
BITX, the leverage play on Bitcoin.
yes,
Okay, yeah, I like that ticker actually. What happened? It was just Bitcoin has a drawdown and you got caught.
yeah, got caught real hard. But then I sold, cut my losses, and then I moved that money over to uh, IBIT. A little bit. You don't run into that theta erosion, not theta erosion, but
The NAV
nav,
erosion.
nav
Mhm.
erosion. Yes, sir.
So
And
I bit like legit follows Bitcoin, right? Is that what my understanding?
correct. It's the closest 1 to 1 with a little bit. Um, they still have a little bit of an expense ratio, but I mean it's closer. It's much safer than the other one, BITX.
A hot you run, a hot you run.
Yes, sir.
That is awesome. Well, Snowball, Hugo, man, the channel just got a lot better looking. Isaac's a good looking dude too, but he's not showing his face.
That's
Uh,
my pet bird.
What's going on?
how are you, my man? Happy New Year, Merry Christmas to you too, Isaac. How are you guys doing?
Happy New Year.
Good, brother. Good. Can't complain.
You are in
uh,
Denver now, correct? Is that what I
that's
remember?
yeah. I'm based out of Colorado Springs. Moved here from Miami. Life is good, man. Can't complain. Fighting off the flu like everybody else, I think.
Dude, my
But
wife's down for the count right now, bro.
oh,
I made her chicken soup. I'm trying to do stuff, but I feel helpless because it's like nothing I'm doing is helping. And I just
dude,
like think the best thing I can do is just like leave her alone, you know?
put a mask on her and put her in a room, bro. That's the best you can do.
Yeah. I hadn't been sleeping in the room for last night. It's the first night that I took a chance and slept with her because I just have so much work to do. I was like, baby, I can't afford to get sick. She's like, no, just take the guest room. She was cool with it.
Yeah.
But then she messages me like 1 in the morning and she's like, I'm not coughing anymore now. It's just like I went in my Catholic roots. And I went in there and I bring the dogs even barked at me, dude, when I went in the room. And I'm like, dude, you know, I own the house, right? And I snuggled in there and I took a chance and I still feel good this morning. So I think she's on the
Good.
other side of it now.
Good, man. Good. Happy to hear that. Yeah, it's been everywhere, that bug, man. I mean, my whole family got it in Miami, and it's been crazy. So
Yeah.
glad to hear everybody's staying healthy.
Yeah, it's awesome. Talk to me, man. What about you? What's going on with your portfolio? I know from your journey that you were like all in on Tesla at one point.
Yeah.
Where are you at right now?
So I'm still all in on Tesla. My main priority right now is to get out of TSLL. You know, that
Okay.
NAV erosion that we're talking about, I really
real.
felt it on
It's real.
this way back up. You know, we were at 450 real quick. Do you mind just muting Ike for a second? I think we hear
Yeah.
I think he's at the airport.
One
Sorry,
sec.
Ike.
Okay, go ahead.
There we go. So we were at 450, 460 with Tesla last time, and
Mhm.
TSLL was at like 30, 31, 32. This
Correct.
time around, we hit all-time highs almost at 500, and TSLL barely broke 24, and that kind of scared the shit out of me. So, mind you, I've been wheeling it aggressively. So once I do the final conclusion to see what, with the premium and everything, see how I come out at the end. But it's not good to hold long term. It's something, if you want to take a directional short term position, it's good. If you want to aggressively sell, do the wheel on it, it's good. But if
Yeah.
you're trying to have a position in Tesla through TSLL, I would not recommend it.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, apart from that, I've got some covered calls that I had to push out. All the way to January 27 at 540 strikes. Those were previously 240 strikes. So when
Mhm.
Tesla went all the way down to 180, I was able to roll
Yeah.
them out aggressively, collected premium. It was very good for me. And then basically just being conservative with selling covered calls on my whole position.
Yeah.
Basically selling covered calls on maybe 25 to 30% of my position. But unless your goal is to wheel,
Yeah.
I'm kind of staying away from it. But apart from that, man, life is good. Portfolio is touching all-time highs, so I can't complain.
Yeah. So if I could give you a little bit of school of hard knocks that I've learned with covered calls is if you want a license to sell aggressive covered calls, you have to own some leaps. That's one. Protect the upside, right? Protect the
Mhm.
upside because you've earned it, right? You own those shares. You've already taken the biggest risk. The biggest risk, in my opinion, besides buying short dated calls, because you really need something to happen really quickly, is you're owning the shares because you're susceptible to all the downside, but you're also qualified for some upside,
Mhm.
which is great, right? It's 1-to-1. It's a delta of 1. Nothing has a delta of 1 except the shares. That's what the math is. But you also have huge tax implications, right? If you've owned these shares and you've made a crap load of money on them, like there's people that are up 10x, 15x on Palantir, and then they start selling covered calls, and it's awesome. But then you sell those shares, and you're not like really prepared for like the tax consequences if you're not doing it like on a retirement account or something like that. Like those are all things to consider. But protect the upside with some leaps. That's one. Another thing, dude, and it was just an accident. It was just an accident, but it became my cheat code was to own the underlying and then be very, very conservative with covered calls, but then wheel the shit out of the leveraged ETF that's associated with the underlying. And I started playing TSLL in tandem with Tesla. And it turned out that I have made 3 times the money on TSLL that I have on Tesla.
Amazing. And you were wheeling TSLL aggressively. That was what you.
Aggressively, bro, because I don't give a shit. First of all, I feel like I shouldn't even be in the trade. I feel like I shouldn't even be in the trade. So many times I would have shares called away, and then it would run up another $3 or $4, and dude, it hurts.
Yeah.
It hurts psychologically, right?
Mhm.
But
Mhm.
you're like, okay, A, I shouldn't have been in the trade. B, I made money. What are we talking about?
Yeah.
And then you look up, Tesla goes sideways or a little bit down, and then boom, TSL's right back to where you left her. And you're like, hey, how are you, sweetheart? So she's the girl that she goes out with you and she feels like she's marriage material because y'all went to the movies, y'all did the Starbucks, y'all looked into each other's eyes. It was all romantic. But in the back of your mind, you know she's a hoe and she's gonna go step out on you, right? But whenever she calls,
Exactly.
but whenever she calls you, you still feel good because she's a good time.
Yep.
But she's a good time, but it's like, do you want it to turn her into marriage material? Dude, I feel like if it with these leverage ETFs, and I'm trying to turn a leaf, so I'm not trying to be like real derogatory or anything. But here's the thing. Have y'all ever heard the song I'm in love with the stripper? I fell in love with the stripper.
Mhm.
That's what these leverage ETFs are, bro. Like you ain't gonna go, dude. I used to be the guy in college. I went to the strip club my first time. Man, this is not gonna be in the book, okay? And I was the guy that wanted to see all the potential in these women. I would look at them, such a beautiful face, amazing bodies. And I was like, did the lap dance. And I just want to like lecture them. I'm
100%.
like, what are you doing with your life? You're so beautiful. There's so much potential. Like you're gonna have a baby grow one day, and you're gonna have to explain that you did this. You did that. And I'm like trying to lecture them, bro. The strippers don't want. There's a guy, Ralph Barboza. He's a comedian, and he's like, the strippers, they don't want to be saved. It's too late for them. Go talk to the manager at Marshall's. She wants to be saved real bad.
Yeah. And
And
just
I'm just saying, dude, these leveraged ETFs, they're strippers and they don't want to be saved. They're making $1,000 a day. They're living better than you.
100%, bro. And just to add to that analogy, when you sell covered calls on TSL, and this is something I've learned, just like when you have a good time with that stripper, you got to be willing to let them go. You know, if once the night's over, you got to let them go home. And it's the same with these covered calls. Even though it's $3 up, your covered call is at X. Don't fight it. Don't fight
Yeah.
it because that roll, because you got to roll it at least a month out for
Yeah.
it to be worth
Yeah,
it.
but then
That
when
roll,
you do that and then it comes back down and you lost all your profit.
and Nav is just biting at it. You
Brutal,
know, so
bro.
so
Brutal.
just like a stripper, you gotta be willing to let them go home. You know,
Yeah.
you can always call them back up, but let them go home. You know, so anyway, so that's part of what I'm doing. But
Bro, you're paying them to leave.
you're paying them to leave, man. That's exactly right. That's exactly right. And in this case, they're paying you to leave. You know, the premium is for you to let them
there's
go.
no helping me. I'm such a bad dude. There's no helping me.
Oh man.
Oh man, dude. One day I'm gonna look in God's eye, bro, and I got a lot of explaining to do, Hugo.
Brother, you got to do an uncensored version of your book. A rated
I
R
got a lot
version.
of explaining to do, man. Oh my God, I don't deserve to go to heaven, bro. I don't deserve to go to heaven. Here's the thing: nobody does. So that's the part that's real hard to fathom. Not to go like there, like this isn't a preaching channel, but it's like I think that that's the thing that we all struggle with is we want to feel like we earned something, right? And
Yeah.
that's like the one thing that you just can't earn. and it's the Mormons try, bro. They're like on the work program. I have buddies that are Mormons and they gotta like do everything right if they're gonna because there's like 3 levels of heaven according to the Mormons, right? There's this dude James Smith and he sold this bag of goods to this Church of Latter-day Saints, and it's like, dude, it's tough, bro. Like it's tough. You do caffeine, cursing, forget about it. But they do have this one little caveat that you can marry like several women, which is kind of like you do all this and you get that. You know, I'm just like watering down Mormonism. That's
That's
not like what it all
hilarious.
is. But like I'm like making jokes right now. Right? Don't get all serious. But
Well, they're doing something right, bro, because they're buying like $300 million worth of industrial in Miami, the Mormon Church. So they're
yeah,
doing
bro,
they're doing
they're
something
very
right.
good. They're very good. It's like the Jews. They're very good stewards of their money.
Yeah, they
They're
are.
very, very good stewards of their money, and we could learn a lot. We could learn a lot from Mormons and Jews with the way that they handle money. It's
100%.
they really look at it as a tool, and they know how to maximize that. They know how to maximize it, dude. It's pretty awesome.
Yeah, well, I mean, look, at a fundamental level, it's all discipline, right? Discipline
Yeah,
with your words, discipline with your
really is.
actions, discipline with your money. It's just it all comes down to discipline.
Yeah.
Real back, just to bring it back to trading, I got a few positions open just for
Okay.
people that are following around. Happy to dig into any of them. I've got EOSC, the energy battery company
Yeah.
that's kind of making a push into commercialization, into the commercial side. Irene, I got caught on a few Irene cash secured puts. Luckily,
Iron. Yeah.
It's making a comeback, so I'm watching it. Rocket Lab is just absolutely incredible.
Yeah.
Reaching $84. United Health. I've made a lot of money on United Health. We're at 340. I had caught on a few cash secured puts on 340, 350 on that second time we had gone up.
Mhm.
So luckily we're coming back up. But those are pretty much my oh, and then I trade Ion Z, which is the 2x inverse of Ion Q. I've had
Okay.
a lot of luck with it. But
What is
again, that's
IONQ again? Because that was like the craze last year. What is it? That's quantum something, or what do they do?
yeah, it's a quantum computer
Uh-huh.
company.
Mhm.
Um, there's a gentleman, Martin Shkreli. I don't know how to pronounce his last name, but he's
Uh-huh.
the one that he got famous because he went to jail for some stuff that he did that was um not legal.
So he was a bad guy. Now he works for the government or something like that, or
No, he's just very vocal against these
oh,
quantum computers about how a lot of the revenue growth comes from basically them just acquiring companies. The company itself is not producing money. He has a lot of videos out there, but my thesis is just against IonQ specifically, not
mhm.
quantum computers. And so Ion Z is the 2x inverse of it. So I've been kind of just swing trading that, but that's pretty much all of it. And then
Super cool.
some prediction markets that I've been kind of playing with.
So
Venezuela.
so talk to me about EOSC, because there's a option selling with Christian, and then there's Josh on X that I follow.
Yeah.
Uh, and they're like, dude, they're into this thing. Like they're into this EOSC. Like they feel like it's gonna be. They talk about it the way that the finance junkies used to talk about Enovix.
Yeah, 100%. Options with Christian is actually who
Oh,
kind of turned.
we met him, dude. Hello, we
Yeah,
met him together.
yeah, us three
Okay,
had lunch. Yeah.
yeah,
So I got in at when it was like at $7. So I got in at a pretty low basis. Um, the growth right now is from their pivot to commercial buildings, and
okay,
so their leadership is pretty strong, which is one of the main things I look at, who's running it. But these next few quarters are going to be probably the most indicative of how strong their commercial push is going to be. So it is going to be pretty volatile. I mean, it was trading like sub $12 just last week. It's
right,
pushing 14, 15. It had made a go to 20 like a month or two ago. So
right.
it's volatile. Selling cash secured puts below $11 has been pretty good for me.
Are they a profitable company yet, or are they still on the come up?
I think they're still on the come up. I don't think they've reached profitability.
Uh-huh.
They had a short report come out about a month ago, a pretty aggressive short report.
So is that what tanked them from 20 to 11 or whatever it was?
Yeah, that was a significant part of it. Correct.
Yeah, because people are hyped on it, dude. Like this Josh, who trades a very substantial, big account, he's into it. Like he's really into it. And then I know Christian touts it. His brother Cole
Yeah,
uh, touts it as well. We didn't get to meet Cole. We just met Christian and his family. Um, Yeah, man, they're into it. They're into it. I did a little bit with it last year, and I'm thankful because my New Year's resolution is if I've never done anything with that ticker, like I'm not bringing on any ticker. So EOSC is on the table for 26. You know what I mean? Because
100%.
I did something with it last year, thankfully, and so is Oscar. I did something with Oscar last year, so I'm excited that I'm able to. I just don't want any new tickers, bro. Like everybody's like trying to shove like Zeta down my throat right now.
Yeah, no, I'm not.
And
Yeah,
I'm just not hearing it. I made some funny posts on X. Like, I don't care that they cure cancer. I don't care if they raise the dead. Like, I'm not doing it.
yeah,
I'm rocking with my book, dude. I'm rocking with my book. And it doesn't necessarily have to be in the portfolio right now, but at least on my watch list and something that I've got a history with.
100%. You got to pick your horses, like you always say, and
It's a
and you
lot of
can't have too
work,
many
bro. It's a lot of
horses.
work to bring on a company, Hugo. Like you want to walk people through, because I can tell you're still early on EOSC because you don't even know they're profitable. But
Yep.
so I want you to walk people through. Dude, it takes work to really learn these companies, right? Not everything's Tesla for you in your portfolio, right? Because you can sit here and have an hour-long conversation about Tesla.
100%. Yeah.
But it's hard to do that on all these other companies, right? Like, dude, I could sit here and I could talk with Tanner, I could talk with Chris Hager, with Tevis, with Crossroads about SoFi.
Mm-hmm.
I can't do that on every company. Get one of these Bitcoin mining nerds to talk to me about Riot, and I could talk to them about Riot. But dude, I've invested energy in those companies.
Yeah. Yeah.
I can
You've
actually
met
hold
with the
my
CEO.
I can actually hold my own on Palantir because I've invested energy in studying these companies, and that's why I'm very careful to bring on a new ticker. Because, dude, like just between Riot, SoFi, and Palantir, dude, no kidding aside, at least 1,000 hours of my life minimum.
Yeah.
And that's a lot, dude. There's 168 hours in a week. Just do the math. There's a lot. I mean, so many earnings calls, so many reports, so many SEC filings, trying to understand. You're right. It was hard. Like trying to make sense of those scrambled eggs that they call a balance sheet that Jason Les is really excited about. But it took me a long time to really understand what he was excited about.
Yeah.
And I'm like, dude, it takes a while to really learn those companies like that. And that's why I'm like, oh man, I don't want to do it. I just like
Especially when you're putting $1 million, $2 million into it. If you
yeah,
have a $10,000 position, sure, that is a lot of money, but
yeah,
does it justify you spending 1,000 hours behind
no,
it versus you spending $1
no,
million on it, right? So,
no,
like for example, with EOSC, really, there's 2 points I look at. What's the macro thesis, right? The macro
yeah,
thesis is energy is a huge bottleneck for data centers. Batteries can double the energy grid overnight, so obviously that's going to be the next push for data centers and these tech companies, right? That's the macro
hey,
thesis. So yeah, again, it just depends on how much money you have invested, I guess is the point. But
yeah, a buddy of mine who invests heavily. He's actually better at this than I am. He won't come on the channel.
why?
He loves anonymity.
Tell him to put a mask on, bro. We
He
won't ask
loves
for his name.
he loves anonymity. Anyway, he says you need to study a company to the point to where you sleep well at night.
Yeah, the sleep test is.
Whatever that point is for you.
Mhm.
So he's real big on a company that we all know, Tesla. And he has never listened to one earnings call. He saw an interview with Elon Musk, and he's on his 5th Tesla now.
Okay.
And he's like, this company's going places and it's taking me with it. That is his whole investment thesis.
Yeah.
And I'm like, dude, this dude has over $20 million in Tesla.
The more
And
money.
he is not going to waste his time because I know what I own. I drive it every
Yeah.
day. I got the battery at home. We got the solar. This company's going places and it's taking me with it. That is his entire investment thesis. He thinks anything else is a waste of your time and energy. Go do something else with your life. Elon's got this. And I'm just like, dude, that's it. That's all he needed. But not everybody's wired like that, right?
No. And that goes back to, Buffett's point. It's like buy stocks that you use,
Yeah.
Anybody that owns a Tesla and has experienced the self-driving knows that they're up to something and they are far ahead in autonomy. I was having a conversation with a guy on a flight coming back from Miami to here, and I casually just mentioned, yeah, we were talking about electric cars, and I'm like, yeah, the Tesla drives itself. And then he starts telling me about his neighbor's Mach-E, the Ford. And you don't want to be a dick at that point and be like, yeah, but that doesn't drive itself.
Yeah.
You don't want to start that. But it's like in my head, I'm like, bro, like it's not even comparable. Like it's not even in the same atmosphere. So that goes back. That's a very important trading principle. Invest in what you know and what you use, because if the product's competitive and if the quality starts to fall off. So
Yeah.
kudos to him though. You should tell him to come on the fucking chat anyways, bro. Tell him to put a mask on or something. It'd be fun to talk to him. How do you make his money? How do you make 20 mil?
Real estate. Oh, he's worth way more than that. Mostly in real estate and in the stock market. Mostly in real estate and in the stock market. Today's the 11th, right? The 7th, right?
7th, yeah.
Yeah, I was just looking at my Calendly. My first one's at 11:30. Okay, I'm good. Man, I got 1, 2, 3, 4. Holy cow, I got 5 today.
Bro, those shirts are looking big on you, man. How's the journey going?
Dude, it's because my wife bought me these 2Xs last year now, and right before I told her, I was like, "Baby, I'm back on the health kick," And she's like, I kind of don't believe you. And so she bought me like 3 or 4 of these 2Xs. So now I'm gonna go grab a garage gym workout. So I was like, I'll put on one of these big night. I call it my nightgown shirt now.
Nice, dude. Good for
But
you.
yeah, it's going well, man. I officially lost about 33 pounds in 2025,
Wow.
and my goal is just 20 pounds this year, which puts me at about 190, 195 ish, 185 ish. Like I want to fluctuate between 185 and 195. And then for 2027, I'm hoping that I'll consider 175 to 185. Because I just think that
That's
it'll
good.
be, I just think that, but I want to do it in stages now because um my like I don't have like a lot of loose skin because I didn't like get all crazy with the weight loss.
Hmm. Good.
So like I want to like okay, like a pound every other week. I'm good with it now. And I want to like keep like tightening up and stuff because I feel like if I drop another 30 pounds real quickly, I'm gonna have like some loose skin around my stomach. And I'm like, let me just chill out because then I'll be like, I'll probably like consider a stupid surgery or something. You know what I mean? And I'm
Yeah.
like, no, let me slow down. Let's like keep lifting weights and stuff. And because the body will shrink naturally if you do it incrementally.
Yep.
And
Yep.
so I'm like, let me pump the brakes a little bit. But yeah, since we met in Torrey Pines, I'm probably 30, 35 pounds lighter today than that day that we had breakfast.
That's incredible, man. I was actually reading a tweet yesterday from this guy called Coach Dan Go. He's a very one of my favorite followers for health stuff, and he put a tweet that said, every pound you lose takes 4 pounds off of pressure off your knees and 6 pounds off your hips, which is
Yeah.
incredible. So I'm sure your knees probably feel better. You just start to feel a lot better.
Yeah. Real quick. Dude, I did a 3-part seminar recently and I go over all of it, but just in short, oil field was my first come up. Then I did coaching where I got people. I have no idea why people paid me this money, but it worked out for them. But like about 400 people gave me $500, and I did like cover calls for them. It was from driving Uber and Lyft, right? So there was that, and then I started a fund. I doubled $5 million twice, and I got paid 10%. And that was my come up in life, and my wife is also very wealthy also, so that helps. Like I benefit from that. But they didn't give me like millions of dollars for the stock market. That would have been real cool. I would have loved to have signed that prenup. But that's not how that happened. So that's kind of a watered down version of it. But there's a lot of failing forward, man. I have failed a lot at life. I feel like the people that become the most successful, they learned how to fail forward. Because if you're not failing, you're not trying enough, dude. Like to me, for every, I've only had like 3 what I consider major financial successes in life. And I can think of like at least 10, maybe 15 things that I thought were going to be my thing and they didn't end up being my thing. And I thought they were going to be my thing, right? Like I was like convinced that this is it. Like I'm good. Like selling home security. Like I really thought that was my thing. Whenever I had working for the dating service, and then I got my own franchise going, I really thought that was going to be my thing. And then selling life insurance was like the other thing that I really thought that this would definitely be a career for me. You're muted. Oh. So anyway, yeah, the more you fail, the more you learn. Yeah, agree. You just gotta learn. You gotta earn while you learn, right? That's the thing. Like you're gonna fail a lot in life, but make sure you still figure out how to make a little bit of money, a little bit of money along the way. So many people have taken Ozempic. I've taken Manjaro. I've taken Manjaro. This was in 20. When did I get married? 23. So around 22, I took Manjaro and I lost like 40 pounds, gained it all back. And then I got on tirzepatide, I don't know, 5 months ago, and I did it for like a month or so. And I think it really helped like get me going again. But I just read about like these side effects and stuff, so it makes me a little bit sketch. But I feel like I really need to like get on it and lose like 10 pounds quick, and then figure out how to use like willpower and discipline to get there. I would hop on the terzepatides again because they work. And they produce something called satiety. I might not be saying that right. You essentially you feel full. Like it tricks your brain into thinking that you're full, and you find yourself not eating as much. Three side effects that I've experienced while on those medications, off and on, is a psychological imbalance. I feel like I have like very dark thoughts when I'm on it. Um, So on Monjaro, I didn't experience it on tirzepatide, but on Monjaro, I feel like I would have like dizzy spells. That one really scared me. And then the other one's like constipation because you're just not eating enough. So there's like nothing in the poop chute. So that's those are the three things, right? Those are like, the gimmies and the gotchas, if you will. So it is what it is. Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. Man, I don't do meat enough. I I I, I don't know, man. There's a lot of people like I have a hard time like eating a lot of red meat. It just really really messes up my digestive tract. But yeah, like meat, vegetables, eggs, right? Like that. Stay away from pasta, stay away from breads and all that stuff. Joe Rogan swears by it, right? The carnivore diet he does, and he gets like really really lean. uh Diet for me, right? Like we're on a tangent. I'm just waiting on Hugo to hop back on. But diet, what has really really helped worked for me, and again, this is everybody's on their own journey. Intermittent fasting has really really worked for me, like just going longer periods of time without eating. And I've done a 48-hour fast to 72-hour fast, and those have really helped reset me. Really, really helped on the reset. So anyway, let's check in on the portfolios again, see how things are going. Looks like we've had a little bit of a bounce, so let's just finish off with eyeballing the portfolios. One thing that I did do here is I did make that trade. You guys will be able to see it right here. The 100 the puts, so 50 more puts, I got 70 cents. So I was able to make that trade. And then on end phase, looks like we still just have the one contract. So, and I got 45 for it. Now they're going for 39, and it's because end phase has gone down, right? So I feel like I lost that window there unless end phase were to pump back up to like 34.70, 34.80. Nothing's going to happen there. And I don't think that I want to put the trade on at 39 cents. I need to get at least like 43 cents or so. So, oh well, that's not going to happen. Palantir's on a little bit of a pump. So that part's kind of nice. I recently rolled these 240s from 260. So those are the gimmies and the gotchas, right? On Palantir. You'll see it here where I rolled from 260 to 240, brought in $114 per contract, which was nice. But then now those 240s are getting challenged, right? So those are always the gimmies and the gotchas. But it's still very, very comfortable. And now we're pretty delta neutral, right? And a little bit. We're 12 delta versus the 16 delta. The Apple, still nothing to look at. Google, nothing to look at. PayPal still not cooperating. SoFi is not cooperating. And what I mean by that is I need them to pump in order to be able to sell the calls. ASST is It's finding something here. It's finding something here. Bitcoin is at 91,000. So that part's no bueno. Need Bitcoin to pump to like 95, man. We need Bitcoin to pump to like 95. So that's what's going on with that. Excuse me. What is this? Okay. I don't see anything. Don't see anything. The little account's getting annihilated today just because BMNU is not cooperating. Don't have a lot of cash in this account. The good news is on a roll. Like if I do this again, if I roll the expiration 44 days out and leave it at 11, that's another almost $3,000. So it's not a horrible rental, but I'd probably get more aggressive and roll it even to 10. So I'd probably roll it at 10 to pick up more premiums. That's almost $4,000. So that would be cool. And then you sell the 8,500 shares at $10. If it were to pump, it's $85,000 plus the premiums. You're sitting in a pretty good spot in the portfolio. So because this is a leverage ETF, I'm going to be pretty aggressive on the next round of covered calls, and I'm totally okay with the shares get called away. If it goes to 15, it goes to 15. Oh well. I'm not going to complain about, making a lot of money. So that's about all of it, man. That is about all of it. It looks like Hugo had to go, and I don't see anybody else in the chat. There we go. Yeah, is there anything else? Right on. BMNR needs to pump. Yeah, at some point we're hoping. No, I know that Cash Flow Chronicles, Chris and Matt, I know they're like really talking about VG. I don't know the first thing about it, and I'm not looking at taking on any tickers. I do got to run though. I appreciate each and every one of you guys. I hope you guys got value. The 1,120 people that stumbled upon the feed on X, the 124 people rocking with me live still on YouTube. I appreciate each and every one of you guys. TJ the Will Deal signing off. As always, remember to stay blue, stock screen. Peace out. God bless you guys.